So here we are with lesson 71 and part 3. We're talking about learning 7 shots, and we learn the 7 shots, we've got the swing that we both wanted. So, lots of times in golf, when you're a kid, your first experience of golf might be at the seaside playing crazy golf, or on the municipal putting green. It's a good introduction to have a putter and a ball, particularly if you've got young kids. Great way to start. So, 2 golden rules that Alex Hay gave me with putting, and one was keep the ball low, and the other one was don't take a divot. So if you can remember those 2 tips, it'd be a good start. So here we go. I'm just out on the Emirates course, just as it happens here, and I'm 106 yards from the green, but that's not the issue. I'm just going to go with my putter, and I'm going to make a very simple putting mechanism. If I turn towards you, you can see the shoulders, arms and club make a Y shape, and the putter is essentially using the Y shape as the structure. The hands are controlling the pace of the Y shape, and the neck is a dead hinge. Okay, so what we're starting off with is basically the lowest shot you can hit. It's called the flat stick. There's only 3 or 4 degrees of loft. So here we go. I just hit a sort of a 20-foot putt. Okay, so it went out to 18 yards, believe it or not, so I think I could go even further than that. Again, it's a very good club for hitting the ball low and also very accurate. And why is it accurate? Well, it's accurate because the club face is very stable in the putting stroke. It's not rolling around like with the driver. So when you're putting, you've got a very simple mechanism. You're putting with the Y shape, and there's no rolling of the face, there's no hinging of the wrists. It's the simplest mechanism. The hands are providing the impetus, but you disguise the hand action within the Y shape. So I'm going to hit you the longest putt I can hit you now. Okay, back and through. So you can see the ball scampering out there, and I've got that to go across the fairway grass 50 yards. So it's not often you have to have a 50-yard putt, unless you play on the double greens at St Andrews, of course. So we've understood that the ball stays low because there's no loft in the club face. We've understood it's accurate because the face doesn't roll around, it stays stable. And there's no wrist hinge, there's no form rotation. The only mechanism that's working for you are the neck muscles. Okay? So when you hear people talk about a pendulum stroke, well, it may be similar to a pendulum, but this is a passive hinge. The hands are controlling the Y shape back and through. So let's just now go to my 6-iron, and we're going to make the 6-iron into a putter because I'm going to teach you the low shot. So to help the ball go low, I'm going to convert my 6-iron into a putter. I'm going to pull the club up my sleeve. So you can now see that the angle of the shaft is the same as with the putter, and there's plenty of rubber above my left hand there. Okay, so it's a mindset, really. The instinctive thing now is try and make the ball fly. It's the worst thing we can do. If we're going to hit a low shot, we need to make sure that the club is going through the ball, not trying to lift it. The loft on the face will do the lifting. So I set myself up there, I narrow my stance, and I pull the club up my sleeve. So now the 6-iron feels like a putter. I've got the blade between my feet. So I just hit you a little chip and run, just a few feet. Okay, and when you hit these shots, very much blade and ball contact. Almost imagine you're putting or chipping off a concrete slab. You could putt off a hard surface. If you can putt off a hard surface, there's absolutely no reason at all that you can't chip off the same. So here we go, a little bit further, putting with the 6-iron. It's a very accurate mechanism, ball starting to take off. And we're building up. So you could say this is a chip shot, but I like using it as a low shot. What makes the ball go low? Well, it's simplicity of mechanism. It's not taking a divot, it's just the ball and the club face connecting nicely. And that's my first poor shot. I generally just mishit it. My hands were lazy, the ball slipped out to the right. And because the club face is open as it hit the ball, it added loft. So you get this shot that goes high and soft. You can see the change in trajectory. So these 3 shots were correctly struck. But the moment I left the face open, the ball pops up in the air and works away from the target. Okay? And as I said, the scientific reason for that was that I missed it. So let's just see if I can recover. Hit a low shot. There you go, I've redeemed myself. And the ball is now going low and releasing. So we found that with a putter, the biggest putt I could hit along the fairway grass was 50 yards. Let's find out how far the fullest low shot with a 6-iron goes. A little bit of cut spin. Landed around 110 yards and released. Now again, in the early stages, people do tend to leave the club face open, the ball slips away to the right. And it's just part of the course, it's part of the learning process. So as you work on the low shot, if the club face comes in open, we get the high shot. But if the club face stays square through impact, and you say, well, how do you do that, Luther? And the answer is, it's a feel. You've set yourself up for it as best you can. And if you work on the low shot, and you get the ball going low, you'll probably get the accuracy as well. All right, so there we are. That's the first stages of the series. We've just started to talk about the low shot.